lost. That's all I know. We're just out here to support the Gophers. Hey, second nation, no wrong with silver. Let's go! Woo!
And as you can see, the crowds are definitely gathering.
Let's go, Gophers!
02, Team 2 from Division 3 should be gearing up.
We want to allow them an opportunity to vent a little bit. If they escalate, we're prepared to escalate.
We have not seen any arrests, and no, we have also...
God damn it. We ain't leaving. Better call all your backup you got. Oh, that one was real close. No! Get out of here.
Both has been deployed.
I don't do horses. Leave the area.
They're driving us 3 blocks away. I just want to get to my car.
That way, guys, that way. I don't live this way.
They're just saying move, 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 move.
Win or lose, something bad was going to happen. It was just a matter of time before it started.
The Cruz family has lived here for about 6 years. They fell into foreclosure and they're in active negotiations trying to work with the family to correct their error.
Whose house? Cruz house. Whose house? Cruz house.
At this point, you are committing a misdemeanor by obstructing the alley.
We had security guards here
Shame on Freddie Mac. Shame on Freddie Mac.
from the bank, and the security guards were forced out of the way and overcome by protesters here.
This is I think the 5th time we've been able to take back the house. It's an incredible victory for the family and for our community.
And they broke into this house, which would have been a felony burglary.
There's over 100 people here. 8 people were arrested.
A number were arrested for trespassing that would not leave at the request of the owners.
We see this as a prime example of the way that police are working in the interest of the bank.
Who do you serve? Who do you protect?
The point of the police is to protect communities, and right now that's not what they're doing.
We're about ready to clear the street. We got complaints from residents about the noise.
We'll be nice and quiet if you leave.
We'll be back.
This is someone's home.
A day spent fishing, the old saying goes, is a day not subtracted from a man's life.
I'll put my foot there.
Kermit Wick
We'll walk over to the snowmobile.
was born determined to prove it so.
How are you? Happy birthday!
On his 101st birthday, Kermit arrived at his favorite place.
I've fished since I was 4 years old.
My dad is a compulsive fisherman.
This is the greatest sport there ever was, I'll tell you.
Going back down.
Whatever lake to show you a fish.
For 10 decades, Kermit has been showing off his fish, even as his eyesight failed.
How deep am I, Chuck?
And he had to push his walker to the end of a Sweeney Lake dock.
He caught a 20-inch largemouth off the dock right here this summer.
So do we even need to tell you
Oh, yeah.
what Kermit wanted most for his birthday?
I hope I catch one fish.
Oh, it feels heavy.
Now watch the hole
Oh, it's a bass.
Oh, no!
and feel the disappointment.
Where is it? Could I see the fish?
No, it broke the line.
Oh, it broke the line.
It hardly fit in the hole.
Maybe we'll catch another one.
Was it so much to ask of his favorite lake?
Oh, gee.
Just one birthday fish?
Just leave me here.
Apparently
There's one.
not.
Hang on it.
A nice bass. Good meal.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure he is.
Look at me, Dad.
Today, Kermit Wick schooled his family
That's a very good eating fish right there.
in Fishing 101. Boyd Huppert, Care 11 News, Golden Valley.
Let's get your mitts on, Dad.
Oh, I'm not cold.
With the first day of the state fair, they want me to ask around and find out what is your favorite state fair myth.
Favorite state fair myth?
Like it's something that you heard about the fair that might be true or it might not be true.
Those are all true, aren't they?
Oh, I know one. That opening day there aren't as many people. And I think I'm wrong.
Less crowded on opening day. You know, typically that's a truth, but today, not as much.
The state fair is dirty and it stinks.
Is that true?
No.
Absolutely not.
No, it's super clean here.
My favorite state fair myth is that everything is on a stick.
It is not. It's a myth.
The myth
is that the milk at the all-you-can-drink milk stand comes from the cows in the dairy barn during the fair.
They don't filter it and then just give it right away? No. They don't.
That's a myth. It comes from the same place all your milk in the grocery store comes from, and in this case, it's Kim's. You can get in touch with us and order up your own custom-made butter sculpture to be done during the fair.
It doesn't work that way.
That's a myth. We need all 12 days to sculpt the 12 Princess K of the Milky Way finalists.
Dan Patch is buried on the fairgrounds.
The myth that Dan Patch was buried here, no. That's a myth. Vendors at the Minnesota State Fair make enough money in 12 days to live off for the duration of the year. Well, that's probably one of the most common myths that we hear, but in 99.9% of the cases, it's definitely a myth.
The record for number of corn dogs in one day, 3,284 by a 12-year-old boy.
There's a kid who ate over 3,000 corn dogs here? Well, I hope not. I guess I can't prove that one wrong, but I really hope not.
Seems like a lot.
Well, it's a state fair.
I would doubt that one, but...
That's more stupidity. No, I mean...
The official playoff slogan for the Minnesota Vikings is "Bring it home."
Go Vikings! Bringing it home. It's been too many years. We've been through a lot of heartbreak.
But to fans before the game, it may well have been, this year is different.
Our offense has been better than other times, but our defense is a lot better this year. Defense wins championships.
They're going to go all the way this year. You can feel it. We're going to do it this year.
But even if they don't admit it, every Vikings fan fears the same thing.
I'm a little nervous.
How do you deal with the anxiety? Beer. Have a beer.
Even I had 17-0. Even with Bring It Home towels waving across U.S. Bank Stadium like Homer Hankies in a Twins World Series run.
This is the year. This is our year. Let's go.
Everyone knows no lead is safe because everyone knows what happens when the Vikings are in the playoffs. Of course, Drew Brees would stage a comeback. A Saints dagger-to-the-heart field goal with 25 seconds left. Here we go again. Except this year is different.
This is unbelievable. Oh my God. Oh baby.
Cheers of disbelief.
I have no idea.
And tears of relief.
Unbelievable. 35 years we've had season tickets. Oh my God. Look at that.
The moment 66,000 fans made a new best friend, the person next to them, the moment they witnessed the Minnesota Miracle.
Stephon Diggs, we believe, baby. I can't believe what I just saw.
Lou Raguse, KARE 11 News.
Yeah, I'm like super excited. I want Jessica and Deja to be able to sit over here somewhere.
The excitement of a high school dance is almost a rite of passage for any young adult.
We're just kind of remaking a school dance for him.
Walk on this side of you, how about that?
But for Osseo High School graduate Vlad-Daze, he has no idea he's about to walk through that passageway himself.
With his condition and everything, we just felt that we had to do something.
3 years ago, doctors found a tumor in Vlad's brain. Through it all, he never went to a high school dance before graduating in 2012.
He's expressed a lot of regret not being able to go to those.
And recently, as fate would have it, doctors told this 19-year-old he only had months to live. So with dozens of friends back from college, Vlad.
And I was wondering if you would be my date to the first annual Vlad-Daze.
Found out how much his friends love him.
That sounds incredible. Yes.
Yes? It's a yes!
I can't believe this. Oh my God. How did she?
But the best,
like snow days for Vlad,
was yet to come.
1, 2, 3.
Even his former teachers came to get their picture taken with the most popular kid in school.
The honorary Vlad-Daze, King and Queen, Vlad and Alex Clark.
It was 3 years ago this week Vlad got his diagnosis.
I want you all to know just how much this actually means to me.
But on this night, even if it was just for a moment, that cancer melted away. And these kids showed us all a little lesson in compassion.
We want the best for him.
I'm Jay Olstad, KARE 11 News.
Irish dinner.
shrieking madness, ear torture, and screeching owl.
It's been going on for 50 years.
Anyone can be a great Irish tenor, but to be the worst takes a special talent.
And spells herring.
Nobody wants to be a judge because they have to sit there the whole evening.
And I'm one of the judges tonight. I look for a couple of different things besides their singing. I kind of like to look at their reactions.
Competition's tough this year.
And the woman with the puppet.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 5 finalists. So that leaves us with a grand winner, Teresa.
It's just gut-wrenchingly exciting.
Minnesota Twins don't normally call up 90-year-old cane-aided rookie pitchers to the big leagues, which is why Emery Erickson
Here I am.
is as surprised as anyone to be here, and that is saying something.
I was totally blown away. I had no idea that he wanted to do this.
But when Jan Miller heard throwing out the first pitch
Oh boy.
was at the top of her dad's bucket list, she knew he had the right resume.
He gives and gives and gives.
At just 17 years old, Emery first gave back to his country.
Tell me about your service. Where did you serve?
Navy, 2 years, Pacific.
To this day, Emery continues to give, training service dogs for the Mayo Clinic and making little libraries for his community. From the confines of the woodshop he oversees inside Covenant Village Retirement Community.
You know, it's a win-win. We're doing something worthwhile and we're doing something we enjoy. Even though Dick is a perfectionist.
He recently took the same lighthearted approach to his own version of spring training.
I don't bend over like I used to.
And he wasn't too worried about an imperfect throw.
If I bounce the ball halfway up there, so big deal.
You see, a bad pitch has a tendency to seem pretty small when your marriage of 44 years faces one of the biggest deals imaginable.
It's probably 4 or 5 years ago when we started noticing that she wasn't remembering things the way we thought she should.
They knew that they were preparing for the day where she would have to move into memory care.
Oh, here she is.
That day took place 2 months ago when Emery suffered a heart attack due to stress associated with caring for his wife, Ruby.
So that's a change in our lives, but we're doing okay, aren't we?
I love you.
I love you too.
How's that sound?
That's just the nature of the disease, and you know, God bless her, but that's hard.
It's a very, very ugly disease, yeah. And they call it the longest day.
But on this day,
I'm thrilled. It's wonderful.
Welcome, Emery Erickson.
A man who has given so much got the attention he deserved.
Emery, it's your pitch.
Balls and strikes are no big deal when you can share days like this.
Hey!
I was wondering where you were.
Kent Erdahl.
You got kissed?
KARE 11 News.
Time slows down when you stroll through Nisswa, Minnesota. With one exception.
So it'll go fast. Hi, how many racers? There's 12. Thank you.
On every Wednesday of summer.
Welcome everybody to the Nisswa Turtle Races.
On this day, a crowd of more than 500 came to see Nisswa transform into Turtle Town.
Oh my gosh, we got a lot of first-timers here, don't we?
I want to pick a fast one.
Like 6-year-old Jeremy Kelly, who is already quick with strategy.
Yeah, I think about giving that a name.
What kind of name?
George.
He waits for his turn.
Let's get ready to race some turtles!
While Turtle Master Mark Ulm sets the pace.
Get set!
Oh, he wants to go!
Go! And they're off. Oh boy, we got turtles shooting out of the starting gates here.
And like that, a dawdle gives way to a stubborn sprint towards the finish line.
Oh my gosh, we have a winner already over here.
And along the way, bringing a boost to Nisswa's economy.
52 years ago, there was a retailer on Main Street who said, I want to try to figure out how to bring people off of the resorts and out of their cabins into downtown to shop. We can't not be happy on Wednesdays because we know that people are coming here to do something fun.
Today, that legacy
That one's going to win.
has now drawn a third generation of fans.
As college student, I raced turtles here, then my sons raced turtles. Now we've got the third generation with our granddaughters here, so it can't help but beat it.
That is a good start. Get it some water. She needs water. She needs water.
A family reunion brought Lucas Steffensmeyer to the starting line.
Hey, we're proud of you.
But lost were hopes of fleeting fame.
You're there, you're up in the highs, you're in the lows with these turtles because they're out there every day, they're training, they're practicing.
Which brings us finally to little Jeremy, the 355th person to compete. And in seconds, his turtle dreams were dashed.
When my turtle was going so fast and I couldn't even grab him.
But as winners advanced, another young grand champion emerged.
We have a winner over there. Oh my goodness!
I just picked the fastest one.
But the true victory is for Nisswa.
And to us, this is small town America at its best.
Making sure for vacationers, no time is lost on this summer getaway. In Nisswa, Lindsay Sievert, KARE 11 News.
Oh, we have a winner right over here.
If you seek glimmers of northern Minnesota's past,
Isn't this just gorgeous in here?
walk the Lost 40 northwest of Grand Rapids,
We reach around the backside, Tom?
where visitors can try to hold time.
We're touching fingertips.
An 1880 surveying error hid these giants from the lumberjacks, so 300 to 400-year-old red and white pines still brush the heavens here.
It's the king of the woods, especially here in the Lost 40. The whites are huge.
Not far from Minnesota's lost past, walk the woods with Jack Ryla and a bag of white pine seed.
The little gems.
And you can see the forest future.
Thank you. I like that.
Ryla likes, no make that loves the white pine. The forest's tallest tree with its uneven branches. Planting some 500 future broom-topped shadow makers this day on ground prepared for seeding.
We want to keep the Lost 40 around as long as we can, but it's not going to be there forever. What we just planted here today is going to be here for a long time.
Ryla really blazed a trail in Minnesota's white pine restoration.
My brother and I first saw these lands, and I remember him saying, Jack, these lands just don't grow white pine, they demand white pine.
Ryla says others tried but failed, and he lost the first million he planted. But this journey was personal.
I grew up in the shadow of the smokestack and the sawmill and the white pine tree.
Ryla's family tree is rooted in Northwoods lumber. When the Paul Bunyans arrived, the white pine was a major species, the predominant tree in parts of the forest. From 1850 to 1925, they fell in a big way, leaving, by Ryla's estimates, a fraction of Minnesota's white pine forest.
Fortunately, when the harvesting was done here 125 years ago or so, they were going so fast that they left a remnant like this dandy I'm standing by right here.
The Big Fork Mill with Ryla's name has been around since 1902 and in the family since the 40s. A 500 million board feet has rolled through here, principally white pine over the years, but today a variety. Still, Ryla is far more than a lumberman.
I claim to be a pretty avid conservationist.
Which takes us back to the woods, a stapler, and paper scraps.
By getting the caps on now, they can protect the tree all winter long.
Remember the first million white pines he lost? Ryla developed bud capping to keep deer from eating the top bud, which is crucial to growth.
But it's so simple, and it's so effective. Yeah, it works.
Really works.
3.5 million.
3.5 million white pines,
yeah,
successfully planted in 3 decades, which Ryla tends to like a garden, even pruning deadly trouble.
It kills the limb.
Like the fungus, blister rust.
People say Jack Ryla was here, and Asked him, well, how do you know? And he said, because I can see the trees have been pruned.
Overwhelming at times, but so rewarding.
You know, they talk back to me. I turn around and see that tree smiling? I really, you know, it's like we have a conversation together.
A conversation that will echo for centuries.
Just 300 years ago, that was just a seed. No, that's not very long.
Ultimately, Ryla seeks a healthy forest, which includes the lost giants.
We really had a debt to pay. And by spending the last 25, 30 years now of my life putting white pine back in the landscape, it's a small payment.
Future Minnesotans will be in debt when walking in the shadow of Ryla's white pine passion.
The best time to plant a tree was yesterday, but the second best is today.
For the KARE 11 News Extra, I'm Greg Vandegrift in the North Woods.
Fair warning, this next story is going to get to you. Our Making a Difference report this Friday night comes to us from our great NBC station up in Minneapolis, St. Paul, KARE, known to the locals as KARE 11. It's a story about what happened recently in a small Minnesota town on the border with Iowa, where a 94-year-old retired farmer named Loren Kruger died last year. All his neighbors knew Loren to be very tight with his money, but that was before Loren Kruger had the final word. He made a difference. We get tonight's story from reporter Boyd Huppert.
There are people in big cities who would consider this harsh, unwelcoming country. People who wouldn't give a nickel to live in Leroy, Minnesota, who wouldn't pay the quarter they charge for coffee at the Leroy Senior Citizen Center.
And if they take a cookie, then it's another quarter.
People who need to pull up a chair and listen.
My God, we've never had this kind of money.
As Eileen Evans tells a story of small town values and a check.
We didn't know what to do, you know, it was, my God, $20,000.
The envelope arrived from the estate of 94-year-old Loren Kruger, a retired farmer who had seen his share of sadness, having lost his first wife, then his second, having lost his only child, a teenage son, to cancer. But long before he passed away last year, Loren gained a reputation.
Very frugal.
Watched his pennies.
Very frugal. He was very careful with his money.
Apparently so. For as he humbly lived out his days in this white frame house on Main Street, Loren quietly amassed
We held on to it for a while.
a fortune.
I said, well, let me see it. I've never seen a check like that before.
That first $20,000 check was followed by two more, $100,000 each.
And said, my God, look at this, look at this.
Up to then, the seniors had been getting by on what the county gave their center, $600 a year.
How much altogether did we have?
Well, we got 220,000 total.
And Loren wasn't done.
He loved this church.
Loren willed roughly $1 million to St. Patrick's Catholic Church.
Came here for many, many, many years.
Then he revealed an ecumenical streak.
Well, I think we're very blessed.
When Loren left the Presbyterians more than $400,000 too.
We're looking at the new steel roof that we put on our church, all this thanks to Loren.
Checks for the same amount were delivered to Bethany Bible Church and to the Lutherans.
The leak is fixed.
Who've already used some of Loren's gift to repair their bell tower.
We were notified through his attorney.
That old pumper truck behind Chief Rick Dolman?
It's an 80.
Plans are to replace it with a new one. Thanks to the $220,000 Loren left the fire department.
This is our crew quarters.
Another $220,000 allowed the ambulance service to build an apartment.
So we have to get another bed in here yet.
For its on-call EMTs.
I mean, honestly,
Nobody knew he had
nobody, you know.
All told, Loren spread some $3 million around a town of 925 people.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
But to suggest the giving ended in a $3 million flurry is to show you have a little more to learn about Leroy. The churches were all aware the town's assisted living center needed a new kitchen.
The stove will go here.
So together, they're sharing some of the money Loren gave them to build one.
It's just the type of community we live in.
The seniors wrote a check for the new school playground and were joined by the Lutherans in paying for improvements at the community pool.
Makes you feel good?
Good. The way the seniors felt when they wrote a $10,000 check to Grace Christian Church,
We thank you for your generous gift.
which had the misfortune of being the only church in Leroy,
We wanted to share.
founded after Lauren had made out his will.
Why not give it away? It was given to us. We didn't have it before, so why not help other people that are in need too?
Frugal was the word pinned on Lauren Kruger in life. Generous is the way he'll be remembered.
It's astounding what he did.
There are still people who wouldn't give a nickel to live in Leroy. But folks around here prefer to put their faith in the kind of person who'd give everything. Boyd Huppert, KARE 11 News, Leroy.
Told you that was a great story. Our thanks to Boyd and all our great friends at KARE 11 in the Twin Cities.